Hello, everybody, and welcome to this one more session with an expert that we are going to meet today. Our topic today is sports and medicine, and maybe a little of beyond. And we have a very esteemed speaker today. We have Dr. Abhishek Kini with us. Dr. Abhishek Kini is a foot and ankle specialist. He's an orthopedic surgeon. He has a diploma in sports medicine from the International Olympic Committee. He practices orthopedics in Mumbai, in Dadar. He has a clinic at Dadar, and he also is attached with some good renowned institutes like Hinduja Hospital, Lilavati Hospital, and Reliance Hospital. But along with that, Dr. Kini is also having a keen interest in sports. He's a sportsman himself, and today we would like to explore that aspect of his work and try to understand what can we learn from doctors who are also excelling in spheres beyond just medicine. Dr. Abhishek, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, Sushant, it's always a pleasure to be with you, and I thank you for giving me this opportunity to get in touch with, students. And I hope this talk is kind of inspiring them or makes them kind of do more things that what they would have otherwise done.
I'm sure that is going to happen. So, Abhishek, let's start with a very simple question. What do you do beyond orthopedics? So we know that you are into practice, we know you are into research, you are also someone who teaches a lot of youngsters. But beyond that, what is your work in the field of sports?
I think right from childhood, I think we've all been playing some kind of a sports, and I think there's a English saying that all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, which is actually true. And I think education and sports are complementary. So I was part of my school football team. I represented Bombay at a district level in football, then played cricket. Then 11th and 12th was all about studies, but in college again we played some football, cricket, participated in some plays with you. But I think post that, now I think beyond that, it kind of has helped me to kind of make sure that I've gone and played. Now I cycle long distance. I'm an endurance cyclist. I run marathons. I try and participate in triathlons wherever I do get time to train adequately. And I also try and go for some net practice with my Hinduja colleagues, where we represent the Hinduja cricket consultants cricket team. So I guess you need to be in touch with multiple sports, so kind of it develops your multifaceted personality, I feel.
But then, isn't it that you are a busy surgeon? I understand you have long hours of surgery, you have a waiting list where you are seeing patients, you're also into research. So, how do you find this time? How do you balance out between your work and how do you find time for sports then?
Um, as I said, no, it's complementary. We need to find time. I think, one, I think what helped me was like I was never too studious, and right from my undergrad days. So what it made me do was like it exhausted me very soon, which often happened quite often. And whenever I was exhausted right in my undergrad days or even now in practice, I would just go out of my hostel, and I would go and run or go to the gym or go and swim, play football, etc. This made me realize very soon that it helped me reset my brain thermostat from a bored or a stress level to a happy level. And this resetting has continued even in practice. Now there are more stress level than boredoms, but whenever stressed, like you do have a gym which is close by to your clinic, just go there, work out, and it kind of again resets your brain thermostat. I guess it's all these endorphins released post workout that actually helped me increase my productivity right in my undergrad and postgrad days, and it still continues. I think you just need to get out and take out some time. That's all. I don't think time will come to you.
So that's interesting because we have a lot of students listening to you right now. And it's interesting that you say that you were an average student or not a very interested student in studying. And yet, if I see your career today, you are a very successful practitioner. And do you think that your sports then and today helps you in your profession as well?
Absolutely. Like I strongly believe that these are complementary. Sports teaches you a lot of things. Like, right. If you've been a sportsman, you'll understand what I'm trying to tell you. Or like, just try doing this. Sports gets you most important thing that is important for us to kind of in our practice is discipline, determination, and daily practice. It gets you that every day you have to wake up, you have to go for practice, something like that. It gets you good work ethics. That's number two, what I would say. It tells you time management. It tells you, there is a structure in sports, like there is a captain, there is a vice captain, there are structures. It helps you obey those structures, which is very helpful when you come into practice and say, like, you join as a lecturer, but your professor is acting little crook with you. You need to kind of get used to those things. It helps you tide over this, especially when you come to your postgrad levels, where you are in one unit, the other unit HOD or HOU becomes your examiner. These fair play, sportsmanship, team spirit makes you understand all your colleagues and work as a team to go ahead in life. All those things are important. I think along with this, sports also makes you appreciate others, which I guess, which I see a lot of my friends who are brilliant in their undergrad days, like, but for them to understand or accept that someone else can be little better from them on that given day is a very important factor that you should understand, that sports tells you. Again, I think sports also tells you to handle pressure better. Like, if you're in an adverse, like some adverse situation that pops up, it tells you how to work out a plan B. It kind of positive mentors your brain. Add to that, I think sports also gives you leadership skills. It's because as you are on top, it's not about you on top, but it also how you take your juniors right through and kind of make them work towards their goal. Along with that, I think it gives you a lot of tolerance. It gets you patience. It kind of makes you, as I just said, face defeat gracefully, which is very important. Sometimes the diagnosis that you make are hard. You toil like day and night for a patient, but you are not able to pull him out of the brink. But you need to accept that in that sportsman spirit. All this you can also get, it gets you a lot of collateral thinking, gets a balanced perspective to life. Along with this, I think, sports also makes you kind of gets a lots of boosts in your self-esteem because you've kind of worked out. And lastly but not the least, I think it gets you good sleep at the end of the day because your body is tired. I think nowadays that's a big problem, like, people don't get sleep well. So if you kind of worked out really well, I think it should help you kind of sleep better along with all those hard work that you put in. I think these are many advantages that I just mentioned briefly, but I think if you put all of them together, they were like 10, 12 points.
Okay, so I think those are a lot of interesting advices you're giving us. At times, I feel even I should try out some of them. I'm not really that good with sports. Actually, I'm not good in sports, so I think I should try out most of the things that you're trying to say. But if I trace back, I feel my own journey. It was during this MBBS that I lost track with anything to do with sports. And I'm sure there are a lot of students who might, kind of acknowledge this, that at the time of MBBS, we have a lot of pressures. We are not really that sure of where is our career heading towards. We have a lot of pressures from peers who are doing very well in their academics, and it seems like the whole system is geared to appreciate people doing good in academics. So at that time, what would be your advice to students? How do they hold on to it? Or if it's someone like me at that age who wants to start, how do I take the first steps into this journey of being a sports person or thinking like a sports person?
I think I completely agree to you what you said. Like, I was like part of many sports team in my school, college. Like, getting into that entrance exam thing kind of like, derailed my sporting journey. And then getting into MBBS every year, I think that pressure just keeps on mounting. But as I just said, now, like, maybe my brain was a little lucky that I would get exhausted too soon, and I was like, little bit of a rebellious somewhere or the other, where I would just go out and start running. But I think we've had Amir Khan say all of this in Three Idiots, right? Like, that you should take a part, like, and it's not about just academics and everything. But all of this, if I recollect, is all given in our Parks PSM. It's very important that they say that for our well-being, we need mental stamina as much as physical stamina. And we need to be strong inside and fit bodies with emotional fitness also. I think that emotional quotient is what we all lack when we just focus on academics. Like, we don't know how to deal with failures or something like that. So I think once you accept it, that you need to do this, that you need to kind of be Like this is important part of your well-being. Like being active is important. So again, most of us will accept it. Like, we will, at least the aesthetic part, when it comes, we will accept it that nahi yaar, my tone is coming out and I need to start running or doing something. But then we don't act on it. So we need to act on it. So I would just say, start 30 minutes a day, like do it 3 times in a week, and be disciplined. And that's how you will start. Once you're disciplined, things will start falling in place. And I guess many medical colleges have good campuses where there is a gym khana, where there is, there are a lot of groups. I think get into a group of friends who do your sports, make more friends over there, who will drag you to the gym khana, who will make you run, who will at least be a substitute in your football team. At least you will start kicking the ball around, go to the gym khana, play badminton. So pick up a sport, get a group of friends who play that sport, and make sure that you give at least some time dedicated, like 30 minutes a day, 3 times a week, and be determined, like be disciplined and get it over there. I think that's what, how I started. Like I again, like I think second year, third year is where I again started doing all of this. And I think I was there, then I could just make it there. So I think it's important that you start somewhere and accept that it's an important part for you, for your well-being. Once you accept that, I think things will fall in place.
It's very interesting that you say we should make friends who are like-minded or who are in the same kind of
Correct.
sports. Because when I look at you, you have been my batchmate. I've really admired your career overall till now, and I can say one thing for sure, that you are one of those few people I feel who is gifted to have so many friends, so many well-wishers. If I may say it, I think you are, apart from being a very sincere person and a very good surgeon, you're also someone who is very well networked. You have an amazing number of people you know and who would vouch for you, me included. So I would like to float this question to you. I don't know whether it's related to sports or not, but how does a person develop networks? I believe they are important in our careers, but our curriculum does not focus on that. And yet I think it's important for our medical careers also to grow. So what advice would you give me and maybe all our students? How do we develop networks?
um, I think again, you've hit the nail on its head. Our medical curriculum doesn't teach us how to make friends. It just teaches us how to score marks, I guess, or just focuses only on that. uh, I think it's important, and I think I would relate it along with this as with sports. And I would tell you, I'll give a corollary, like how sports helps you be better networked. I think to be well networked, you need to be one amongst them. So this doesn't mean that you cannot stand out of the crowd. But when you stand out of the crowd should feel or believe that you're one of them. If you can get that link, like being one of a crowd, being one of your team members, like you are part of a team, I think you will be very well known amongst your peers and everything. So I think if you ask me qualities that you need to be a better network, more than qualities, I would say I would put it the other way around. If you don't have this, or if you don't focus on this, you are more likely to be sidelined, or you are not likely to be well known amongst your peers. I think most important thing is you have to smile and be friendly, and honestly help your colleagues. Like if you kind of if your intentions are genuine in helping someone, I am very sure they will help you back. So this is team spirit. This is what I call team spirit, that a kind of a sport teaches you. Second thing, sportsmanship. I think be a good loser. If you are in a peer, or if you're in a group of friends who are like a group of fair individuals, where you all are like MD meds or MS general surge or something, there will be a moment of faux pas where you will put your foot in your mouth, and they will all point it out to you, because they all are extremely uh, achievers, I would say. But you need to kind of understand that it happens to everybody, and you need to take it gracefully, smile at yourself, take it, accept it with an open mind, and things will improve. Third, I would say is, especially in practice, I think this is one point that I really wanted to bring today, is, and which we meeting, I think in Quest we should have some talk on this, is professional jousting. is don't be judgmental about your colleagues. And see, Virat, if he doesn't play for like 20 matches, does it make him a bad batsman? No, he's had a bad form, I would say, right? So you don't know in what situation your colleague is in at that moment when he made that decision for that patient. So when that prescription or patient comes to you, make sure that you don't criticize your colleague, because that colleague is more important to you than that patient. So don't be judgmental, avoid professional jousting, and those be genuinely helpful. Don't belittle anybody. So these three things would be more important to kind of things. And lastly, I would say, play many sports. So more groups you would interact with. Say there might be a gym group, there might be a turf football group, there might be a badminton group, there might be a running marathon group. So more friends you will have. Be friendly, help each other out, don't belittle. Take the same advice to practice. So I'm an orthopedic surgeon, specialized in foot and ankle. So I have orthopedic friends, I have foot and ankle reconstruction friends. I do arthroscopy and sports medicine. So I have those friends. I do trauma in foot and ankle. So I have those friends. Those small friends, genuine people will stick to genuine people. So if you kind of do all of this, I think, taking the sports example ahead, I would put it, it really helps in kind of better networking also. And it helps you kind of, gain experiences from other people's mistakes or wise moves. You will discuss with better people. You will have people who will encourage you to do better. That's what is, I guess, is team spirit, and, helping each other grow into a better person as life progresses. I think these small things, nothing else.
That was a wonderful piece of advice. Thank you so much. It was so enlightening to listen to you. I always wanted to ask you that question. One last thing. So, is there anything beyond sports or academics that you think our youngsters, students who are listening to this, should focus on at this point of time in their career?
At this, uh, okay, at this point in their career, our students, means I think this is a retrospective answer that I would like to give. What are my regrets that I didn't do while I was at your age? I think pay attention to good things around, especially nature. I think it's high time that all of us try and take smaller steps to conserve our planet, because we do not have any planet B. So that's very important. Like now my next research is on something like this, on reducing carbon footprints in our like in the medicine, which we are really working hard on. I think academic opportunities will come and go, but there are things which are perishable or which are not replaceable, like nature, planet. Those don't come and go, so you need to conserve it. Second advice I would like to give is, I think travel as much as possible. It's a good teaching experience. Trek in the mountains. Mountains teaches you a lot. Every trek is different, will teach you a lot. One of my regrets, I would say, is spend quality time with your parents. I think that's important. What happens is, we all, I think this COVID break, I was telling my dad, is the first time I have spent time so much with them in 20 years, I would say. Like one summer vacation, I don't remember after sixth standard, to be precise, that we've spent so much. Because when I was in sixth, my elder sister went into 10th standard, then her 12th standard, then my 10th standard, my 12th standard, undergrad, postgrad, practice. No, it's like what, like after 20 years, we've spent this much time. I think that's important, that we spend good time with our family. Uh, Take fitness seriously. Take it in a holistic manner. By holistic, I don't mean to say spiritual, or I don't mean to say any religious manner. Holistic means as a whole. Fitness has three tenets. One is flexibility, like the yoga. One is strength training, which is like the gym work. And one is endurance, which is like the marathon, swimmings, and all. So you need to bring all the three, or you need to have a mixture of all the three for you to be fit. Unless you have specific goals, like, no, you need to run a marathon, then you need more of endurance. But if you ask me, anything excess would cause you damage and pain. Being an orthopedic surgeon and sports medicine consultant, I would tell you that. So you need a mixture of all of these three, like, flexibility, endurance, and strength. Like if you just do bodybuilding, those bodybuilders have a lot of cartilage problems, and their, even Salman Khan, his elbows are flexed like this. It's a fixed flexion deformity. We don't want that. We want you to have full range of movement, good strength and endurance. Like tomorrow you have to run up 6 floors, you should be able to run up 6 floors. So take fitness as a holistic thing. Next advice for you is like, develop better habits, develop better lifelong habits like good eating, good social habits, because those habits will stay with you all your life. That's very important. And again, good habits will get you in good circle of friends also. And again, friends are family that you choose, so you need to choose good family members for yourself. So it's a very important thing that I would want you to take, develop good habits. And I guess last, I would say, the last take home would be, give wings to your passion. I think it's important that all of us kill our passions in your undergrad days. A lot of us who were like Sushant, I would say, had extremely good talent in play and drama and all. But I have done one play with him, so I know it much better. So I think you need to give, or at least keep your wings of passion flying. I would say like, don't cut your wings of passion. So if you're whatever you're interested in, say like you're interested in playing a guitar, make sure that you at least play it half an hour, 3 times a week, at least on a Saturday, Sunday. So those things will help you de-stress, and I think will help you in the long run.
Wonderful listening to you always, and I'm sure a lot of our students will get amazing insights. And I think we all always think we should do things what you have said, but it's just few of us who can reach where you are. But we do aspire to kind of follow your footsteps. And I hope if students need to reach out to you for any questions, you would be available for that.
Of course. In fact, it was my pleasure. It feels so nice to be here, and I'll be very happy if anyone wants to talk to me for any advice anytime. I think I'm easily accessible. Like if you search my name on Google, you will get it. Or Quest can very freely share my contact details with anyone who wants any advice. I'm not sure I'm the right guy, but I'll be very happy to help anyone who needs any kind of advice anytime. My pleasure.
Thank you so much, Dr. Abhishek. And to all our listeners, I'm sure you found a lot of new insights in this video. Whatever are your insights, if you have anything to share with me or with Dr. Abhishek, feel free to do so. Thank you so much. Take care.